Welcome fight fans to my channel. This is Johnny, and in today's video we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning this weekend's fight between Jaime Munguia and Bruno Surace. Before I continue, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's been with me since day one. If you haven't already, could you please hit subscribe? Also remember to like this video and go down to the bottom of your screen right now. Right near the subscribe button, you'll see the bell notification button. Could you please hit that as well so you can be notified every time I put something out that's new? Thank you. All right, guys, we have a rematch at 168 pounds. This fight goes down part of the Canelo versus William Skull card in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. This is between Jaime Munguia and the Frenchman Bruno Surace. We know they fought the first time, guys, this past December. And if you ask me, it was the upset of the year, but also for at least in the last few years. When's the last time you saw this sort of thing happen to where the Frenchman flies into Mexico? This fight happened in Tijuana. This was a homecoming of sorts. Jaime Munguia had huge fights in front of him. He wanted the likes of Edgar Berlanga. He wanted the likes of Caleb Plant, and Bruno Surace was just supposed to be a guy, a stepping stone fight in the right direction. He came in there with a nice undefeated record, but the Frenchman only had 4 knockouts. So in this video, what we're going to do is remind everybody what took place in the first fight, why we're watching a rematch this weekend in Riyadh. We're going to talk a little bit about how both fighters go about their business, see what their resumes look like. Also, stay tuned to the end of the video because I'll be giving you guys my fight prediction. Going into this fight, guys, this was Munguia's 5th fight at 168 pounds. We know on his record he had only lost 1 time, and that was against Canelo Alvarez. His opponent, the Frenchman Bruno Surace, was coming up from 160 pounds. Yes, on paper, he had a nice, pretty undefeated record, but everybody was like, who is this guy? He has soft hands. He's a 160 pounder coming up to 168, and he only has 4 knockouts. This is going to be a wash for Jaime Munguia. In that fight, Surace was a 7-1 underdog. If you rewatch the fight, I just watched it doing my film study, and what was happening was Surace, for the first time in his career in the second round, gets dropped. And Munguia, we know he loves leading with that lead hand. He loves going to the body. His left liver punch is beautiful, and he dropped Surace with a left hook, and it was during an exchange. Pay attention and remember that point for when we get to the 6th round knockout when Surace knocked Munguia out, because that matters, and I think that'll be a narrative going into the rematch this weekend. Surace gets dropped for the first time in his career. He overcomes that knockdown in the second, has a bit of more of a competitive end of the round, but he wasn't winning any rounds. The adjustment he made, though, going into the 3rd and leading up into the 6th round knockout victory was that he stopped punching with Munguia and he started countering Munguia. He wasn't winning rounds, but even the commentators, Chris Algieri, said that in the 4th round, you could see Surace thinking. He was looking for a shot. He was no longer punching with Munguia. Munguia is the bigger guy, but the thing Surace had on him was the speed advantage. His hand speed was quicker than Munguia's hand speed. So he makes the adjustment, stops punching with him, which got him into trouble in the second, and was looking to one-punch counter him. And this is exactly what we saw in the 6th round. The punch of a lifetime for a fighter like Surace, the guy who gets a call to come to Mexico all the way from France to change his life. He puts his hand up and he was thinking, one punch could change my life. And we rarely ever see that in boxing, but in this fight, that's exactly what happened. Munguia has a tendency and a penchant his whole career to overpunch and overswing and get off balance. And this fight, up until he gets knocked out, he was still doing the same thing. He made some adjustments. He started working on some things. He fixed some holes in his game for what we saw earlier in his career with his defense and his guard. But in the 6th round, he's being aggressive. Surace has his back against the ropes. He overswings on a combo, and he's lazy getting his guard back up, and Surace throws a gorgeous right hand. It's like he threw it from his ankle and caught Munguia's left guard down. One punch, knockout, life change. A couple factors going into that fight in Tijuana, a lot of you fans might not know. That fight was outside, so the temperature on the 9th of December was in the 50s. Was this a factor in Munguia's game plan? You saw him slipping around the ring. These aren't made for excuses. They're just factors. Another interesting fact about that fight in December was the fact that there were no post-fight interviews for Surace after he knocked Munguia out because nobody thought he was going to win. They didn't have any French translators on deck for Bruno to talk to because nobody thought he was going to win. How insane is that? So moving forward, this fight has a lot on it. Both guys are going to want to keep the ball rolling. You know Munguia is going to want his get back. We'll see the adjustments he's going to make. We'll see if he can make Bruno punch with him, and we'll see how Surace takes the biggest victory in his career, and we'll see how he takes that momentum. Right now, let's look at the Frenchman's resume. Guys, Bruno Surace is 26-0 with 2 draws. He has 5 knockouts. He carries into the ring a 19% career knockout to win ratio, and he's currently ranked in the middleweight division at 160 pounds. Remember, guys, this fight's at 168. Out of 1,997 middleweights, he's ranked number 6. His adoring fans know him as Brunello, and the 26-year-old Frenchman is a 6-foot orthodox fighter. We last saw him fight this past December against Munguia, 44-1, knocked him out in the 6th. Obregon, 11-0, knocked him out in the 12th. Jankovic, 5-23, UD in the 8th. Umesh Cavalli, 7-3, UD in the 6th. Castanagro, 11-22, won a points decision in the 6th. So to say that this guy flew from France into Tijuana and knocked out Jaime Munguia, a guy that Canelo Alvarez couldn't knock out, is wild. It's why you gotta love boxing. The storylines and narratives are crazy. A guy with only 4 career knockouts, less than 20% knockout to win ratio, coming up a division, goes into a guy's hometown. On paper, Munguia is the knockout artist and knocks him out. Insane. I'm glad this rematch is happening, and it makes for an interesting fight on the Canelo fight card. Let's take a closer look at Jaime Munguia. Guys, Munguia is 44-2 with 35 knockouts. Out of 1,758 super middleweights in the world, he is ranked number 8. He has a career 227 pro rounds fought, and he holds an 80% career knockout to win ratio. The 28-year-old Mexican is a 6-foot orthodox fighter with a 72-inch reach. He hails from Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico. We last saw him against Surace, 25-0, lost via knockout in the 6th. Eric Bazignan, 32-0, knocked him out in the 10th. Canelo, 60-2, he lost a decision in the 12th. John Ryder, 32-6, knocked him out in the 9th. Derevyanchenko, 14-4, UD in the 12th. We know going into this rematch, this will be his 5th fight at 168 pounds. Everything was going his way. He was the bigger guy. He was doing what he wanted to do in the first fight. He was winning every exchange. He was up on all the scorecards, and one punch changes everything. So when we talk about psychology in boxing, the pros and cons, this is exactly what we have to talk about. These sort of factors we can't find on paper. You're not going to see it listed next to each fighter's names, sort of the variables that go into how a fighter is going to perform in their next fight. And these are questions. He is the big favorite, but we do not know how he's going to overcome the shocking defeat in front of his home fans, the first time he ever got knocked out, being a huge favorite and letting his team down. We will see how Munguia overcomes all of that. When I look at these guys side by side, around the same age, 28, 26, both guys either entering or near their physical prime, same height, same reach. Munguia has the experience. Munguia is the former world champion. And the thing is, we know that Munguia is coming off a loss. You can't say that enough. Bruno has the psychological advantage. Even though he was losing on every scorecard and losing every round, one punch changes everything. Do fight fans really expect Bruno to pull off that one punch? What adjustments is Munguia going to make, if any? Surace, is he still going to counterbox the entire time and still look for the one shot? Is Munguia going to keep his guard up the entire time? We'll see what happens. Only time will tell. It's a very interesting storyline going into the rematch. Now let's take a closer look at where Las Vegas has their money and see where the bettors are putting theirs. Guys, down here in Australia, my sportsbook is an app called Sportsbet. So if you're down here, pull that out, and wherever you are, pull yours out. All right, guys, let's look at the money line as it is. It's literally almost head and tails the same exact as the first fight. Jaime Munguia is $1.14, meaning you put $100 on him and he wins, you get your money back plus 14 bucks. The draw's 21-1. Surace, even though he's coming in as the winner, winning by knockout, if you put 100 on him, he's the big underdog. You get 650, so you're 100 back plus 550 in return. Stay tuned to the channel, guys. This Friday, 11 a.m. Sydney time on the East Coast in America, 9 p.m. Thursday night, which is Friday, 6 p.m. I'm going to be doing my live stream with pro betting expert Muscle Brown, and we'll be giving you our locks of the week and the method of victory bets on all of the fights I'll be covering. We'll be going over this fight plus the Canelo fight along with the card in Las Vegas with Inoue, plus obviously that huge card in New York City headlined by Rolly and Garcia. For my prediction, how I see this going, I think Munguia is going to make the proper adjustments. I'm predicting going into this fight, his footwork will be better. Hopefully in camp, he's worked on that. I've been watching some of the stuff he's been putting on Instagram. It seems like a lot of angle, footwork, mobility stuff. He needs to stop over punching. He needs to stop over swinging. It got him caught here, and it almost got him caught in previous fights. In boxing, they always say, you don't learn your lesson now, those lessons will come back and get you in the end. And that's exactly what we saw. His naysayers, even when he was undefeated before the Canelo loss, would always pull up the flaws in his game, and his balance and over punching was always one of those things. All of that aside, I think Jaime Munguia is going to get back to his winning ways. I like him to beat Bruno in the rematch. In the comment section below, you don't have to agree with me. I put this question up in our community section on YouTube. Some of you guys are already saying Bruno's going to win again. Whatever that is, are we going to see Jaime get back to his winning ways, or the Frenchman go 2-0 against the Mexican? Also, guys, if you haven't seen my breakdown, analysis, and prediction of the world title fight at 126 pounds going down this weekend in Las Vegas as the co-main on the Inoue Cardenas card, the title fight between Rafael Espinoza and the challenger Edward Vasquez, stay tuned to the channel because that's coming up right now.